What's up, everybody? Oh, it's the content review. We're back with another review. Today we're watching Addison Rae, headphones on, official video. Addison Rae, she's a internet personality / musician. Her song Diet Pepsi is a good song, which I like. I'm not sure if I've heard this song headphones on before, but what I can tell you is that I have my headphones on right now, and I'm excited to watch the video for Addison Rae's headphones on with my headphones on. And I would ask you, the audience, do you have your headphones on right now? Let me know. I'm interested in hearing. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. There she is, Addison herself. She's working at the grocery store. I don't know if that's something she's ever done before in her life, but there she is doing it in this video. She's got her earphones on. Those aren't headphones. Those aren't headphones. Wow. She's really riding that thing. Those aren't headphones. She's gonna give herself back problems like Tate McRae if she's not careful on that horse. Lumbar lordosis, or a subluxated disc in her vertebrae. Is she in Iceland? I don't know why it feels like Iceland. That black sand, maybe. So, I have something to say about this. And we'll wait until the end of the video. What's that? Am I meant to know what that was? Those are earphones, they're not headphones.
I know the lows are what makes the highs higher, so I tell myself this is a reminder. Life's no fun through clear waters. You can't fix what has already been broken. You just have to surrender to the
Iceland for sure. The pink ponies remind me of the photographer whose work, I can't remember his name, but he basically has a photo that's like exactly that image. Okay. It's time to wrap it up, I think. Hopefully this isn't a pre... Oh. Okay. Back to work at Vesterberg, which I wonder if that means entrance or exit in Icelandic. Okay. Give it up for Addison Rae. Miss Addison Rae. I want to find a nice frame here. This one seems okay, right? Right, guys? There's some pink here, but it shouldn't. Let's see. No, you can't really see that. Okay, we're gonna have to find a better frame. It'll be her on the horse. Is there one where she's centered? Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is your first time watching a concept review video. We have a 4-category ranking system. Excuse me, sorry. This is your first time watching the content review. We have a 4-category ranking system. We have a concept, execution, visuals, and vibe. Each category is out of 10. Normally I write things a little bit more clean, but oops. So, you know, I had a weird breakfast this morning, and it's making me feel weird. Anyway, each category is out of 10. We add them all up. We get a score out of 40. We punch that score into our leaderboard. We see where the video ranks overall. This is the excellent way of determining the quality and merit of a video on a numeric scale, and it works every single time. And it's true. It's always true, and it's always correct. Anyways, I digress. Let's talk about it. So there's 2 things that I want to say off the bat, I guess. First of all, not headphones. You know, when she says headphones on, and she's like, I put my headphones on, these aren't headphones. And that's not something I'm not going to take points off for that, but it's just something that I want to like make very clear, that these are earphones and they're not headphones. And then I was thinking about, okay, well, they know this, you know, and maybe they're just like, who gives a shit? And you know, that's a fair enough attitude to have, I feel like. But also, maybe what happened was there were headphones and they just couldn't find headphones that worked for them, like on a stylistic level. The wired earphones are super trendy right now. You give it like, I don't know, a year before it completely drops off the face of the earth. And this wired earphone trend, I think, sort of came from the earlier trend of wired headphones, specifically those, like, I don't know what brands they are, but there's like a specific style of wired headphones that all the indie girls were really into for a bit. They were like really small, and presumably didn't sound very good. They were basically like an accessory. And maybe they were like, oh, let's try those, and they didn't work because they're kind of not really fashionable anymore, and they're like, you know, the fad has come and gone, and the wired earphones are more, this is just a thought that I had. And then the main thing that I wanted to say was the video that I watched just before this, which hopefully is coming out before this Addison Rae video, was Doechie's Anxiety. And just speaking about like the videos themselves and the songs, I watched my Doechii Anxiety video to find out why I feel this way, but I really feel that the video and the song like are meritless and kind of like annoying and like have no value, essentially. Like they don't, and I feel as though they don't even the video and the song, I mean, don't even achieve like the goal that I think that, especially the song, that you would hope that something like that would achieve, which is relatability. You know, talking about anxiety, which I think for a lot of people is a relatable um emotional state. An anxious emotional state is probably pretty relatable for a lot of people, but the song itself is just like crap, and it's just like, I have anxiety, and it doesn't really like add anything, and it doesn't feel relatable at all, despite being like one of the most relatable, I don't know, emotional states for like any kind of person. Like, all people experience anxiety, from all walks of life. You know what I mean? So on the flip side, with Miss Addison Rae, and the video for, you just watched my Doechii video, but on the flip side, for Miss Addison Rae, she's singing about something which I think is like way less relatable on a broad level, where she's just like, she wants to escape and like feel sexy and cool, and like not be where she is, and be somewhere she wants to be. But, and it feels a lot more personal to Addison as well, lyrically, because I got the sense that she was talking about some of her personal experiences, and how like she feels that she's under a lot of pressure, and wants to escape, and being compared to other people. And I felt way more connected to her song and her message, despite not being anything like Addison Rae. And I felt like it was so much more relatable and understandable, and like put me in her shoes way more than Doechii's anxiety song, which just like sucks. Anyway, the song itself, Addison Rae's Headphones On, it's just okay. It's fine. But let's talk about the video. So what do we have here? So we have a version of herself who's Icelandic and working at an Icelandic grocery store, and she doesn't really like her job very much, which, you know, I feel like a lot of people feel that way, especially if you're the cashier at a grocery store. But what do I know? Maybe, you know, some people are really into that. But anyway, she leaves the grocery store. She puts her headphones on, like the title of the song, and it imagines herself, she rides one of those mechanical horses, which felt like I don't know what the movie is off the top of my head, though I have seen it, but it's a film with a young Dr. Melfi, the woman who plays Dr. Melfi in The Sopranos, and she's like on one of those horses in a grocery store, and like being all like horned up and stuff. I don't think that's what was happening with Addison, the horned up part, like at least not as overtly as in that film with the young Dr. Melfi. But that seems like to be a reference of some sort, and perhaps there's more references which I didn't really catch in this video, outside of those glowing pink horses, who I can't remember who the photographer is, but it's like this French guy. And that's like his most famous picture, is like the horse glowing like that. And I feel like that was a point of reference for the director of this video. Anyway, the video itself, so she has this fantasy essentially where she's who she wants to be, and is like being free and living her life free of judgment. And I'd say aesthetically, this video's much more interesting than the Doechii video. This isn't like, I'm not going to compare every video, but I'd watch these back to back, and it's very fresh in my mind. I think it's like a great illustration of what makes something strong versus not strong creatively. But she puts her headphones on, she has this fantasy, blah blah blah, and like aesthetically I found it to be way more interesting. But the concept itself, which is what we're talking about now, is pretty straightforward. But I still felt that it like had a bit of freshness to it. Like we've all seen a video like this before, but this is like largely based on aesthetics. Essentially, it's like you're giving the director is sort of like finding a way to have a morsel of a narrative, which I feel like that doesn't need to happen. Like there doesn't need to be a narrative and everything, but there's like a morsel of a narrative with how like she ends up in this fantasy world. But I suppose that if you're like Addison Rae is, if you're a pop star that sort of came into being as yourself, and like not like a Britney Spears type where she's like, okay, who is the real Britney Spears or who is the real Katy Perry? Like you can put the people like that in the fantasy land without contextualizing it. But I guess there needs to be some contextualization, even though I don't think Addison Rae has ever worked at a grocery store. I feel like, I don't know her story, but she gives rich girl vibes. Anyway, so that being said, she goes into this fantasy land and she basically spins and twirls in the sand and rides a horse and has pink hair and is like all by herself. And conceptually, it's not really like groundbreaking or super innovative or interesting, but I think it works, and I think that's important. So I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. It works with the song. It's not so on the nose necessarily, but it's barely a 6. It's like really a 5. It's barely a 6. It's only a 6 because it just suits it very well. I feel like suits the song very well. Execution wise, I thought it was executed pretty well. There was a lot happening, and not in a way that was overwhelming, but in a way that I felt was like very intentional and thought through, which I appreciated. Yeah, you have simple outfits, not too many of them, and different. There's a moment where like there's this slow motion stuff, and then there's some mixed in with all this stuff that's shot on film was digital, with some digital when she's like rolling around in the sand. It might have already happened. It's just a flash in the pan. But here, yeah, like here, there's some. They might have done this at a later date. I don't know. Anyway, but it works. I appreciate it. I like the stuff at night. And this the outro where it sort of starts to get a little like ghostly and vaguely psychedelic, there's crossfades and overlays, and anyway, a little bit grungy. I like all of this, and I think that's really good. I would say execution wise, for me, it's like a 9 out of 10 on the execution. So round of applause. We'll have to see who directed this. Visually, also very strong. I think not like groundbreaking in a visual sense. It's pretty like it. We've seen this style before, but it's done well, and it works. So, and it just like it feels nice, and I didn't feel myself like rolling my eyes. It felt like, you see people imitate an aesthetic and that they don't understand the aesthetic. They're sort of just like imitating it without having an understanding. And I feel like there was an understanding of the aesthetic, even though it was not super innovative. And that's, easier said than done, I have to say. So round of applause there. Visually, this is probably like an 8 out of 10 for me. It's pretty strong. It's like almost, it's barely an 8, but still good. And vibes wise, the song is, it's fine. And the vibes were fine. I thought it was good to see in comparison to Doechii, an artist who is seemingly comfortable being the only character in a video and just being like the whole video is just Addison Rae. And it's just her. There's not really anything else happening besides this horse. There she is, yeah, in the sand. There's some of that digital mixed in. It's mixed in well. I think that it works. Anyway, like I feel like this too, it's interesting because when you have this very dreamlike film stuff of her in this dream world, this fictionalized version of Icelandic grocery store Addison Rae in her dream world, and then you put this digital stuff in, it's almost like breaking the fourth wall of that fictionalized version of herself and bringing you into like, oh yeah, this is still Addison Rae. And I think that's really smart because part of her brand is that, you know, she is herself, right? So I think it really works, and I like that. Anyway, vibes wise, it's not like the most amazing vibe of all time. It didn't make me feel all warm inside watching this video, but it wasn't bad. Honestly, I'd say it's the vibe is a 6 out of 10. If the song was really good, the vibe score would have been higher. Anyway, let's add this up. We have is this 29? Let me double check my maths. 12 plus 8 is 20 plus 9 is 29. That's pretty good. That's much higher than I was expecting before watching the video. Shout out Addison Rae. 29 out of 40. Maybe one day I'll watch the Diet Pepsi video. I wonder how I'll feel about that. So of course now we're going to punch this into our ranking system. She's going to be up there for sure. It's green. That's a good sign. 29 out of 40. That puts her tied for 12th or 13th with Ariana Grande, The Boy Is Mine. Which is not bad to be tied with Ariana. And it's better than Charlie XCX Von Dutch, a video that will never come out, unfortunately, blocked by copyright reasons. But Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us. You know, shout out Addison Rae. That was good. I enjoyed that. And I hope you, my loyal viewers, enjoyed it too. Let me know what you think, if you have any recommendations. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.